Okay, what about now? Can y'all hear me now? Can anybody hear me now? So I've been on here for 2 hours trying to go live for 2 hours. This is just unbelievable. This is just unbelievable. But guess what? I'm on here. I think I'm on here. Everything is working. And we about to get down with the get down. Because y'all know I'm sleepy because it's 8 o'clock. But guess what? I'm still about to do this. We are still about to do this. So let me put this title up. So there is something strange about the Smiths. There's something strange about building. Now, what's it called, y'all? Build with the Smiths. All right, hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So let me put fair use on here with the Smiths and the Gambia. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get this title on here while y'all coming in here. Woo, this was hard. So this let me know this gonna be a good one. This gonna be a real good one, y'all. Because when they fight you like this, oh yeah, they've been fighting hard tonight. They was praying to their little gods hard tonight, but they just don't know. Kiki don't give up. Like I told y'all, Kiki's God is God. All right, so let's put this up here. Let's get this fair use up here. Because I wasn't stopping till I got it up here. So educational purpose only. Only. All right, so this is fair use tonight. Thank God we got it up here. All right, I got the title up here. Y'all on here. And y'all so sweet. Y'all stayed on here. Oh my God. Y'all stayed on here. Y'all have been on here for a while trying to go through this with me. Thank you. All right, hold on. I got to send my grandkids some money for this game they playing. Okay. Some game they playing. Okay, y'all ready? Let me see. It look like we got everything. We good. Thank you. Thank you, Debo. Thank you, everybody. Debo. Thank you, Edra. Thank you, everybody on here who just kept coming back. And y'all, do y'all know y'all been coming back since? Oh my God, it's been 2 hours. We normally be finished up at normally we're finishing up at this time. Now we're just getting started. So y'all know this about to be a good one. Let me write this. Okay. Make sure I can see. I'm trying to get my glasses together. All right, so y'all didn't hear no fair use. Y'all didn't hear nothing. The internet is back. It's fine. I can tell everything is going smoothly. All right, so like I said, I may be delayed, but I will not be denied. All right, so we were delayed, but we are not going to be denied. We're going to get this message out tonight, and we're going to stay on schedule. All right, so let's do fair use because I got a lot to show y'all. We're going to start tonight, but y'all know we ain't going to finish. This is going to be a nice little late night show. So let me get the screen up here so I can show y'all fair use. Look how it's just working fine. I cannot believe we were having all these problems earlier. That's how you know the devil was in the room. All right, so the content on Kiki Loves Nigeria may contain copyrighted material not authorized for use by the owner. However, no copyright infringement is intended. Copyrighted material used on this channel falls under the Fair Use Section 107 of the Copyright Act, which states that copyrighted material can be used for educational, research, teaching, and commentary purposes, which is the explicit goal of this channel. The views expressed on this channel, the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on Kiki Loves Nigeria belong solely to the author and not necessarily to the community, the host, or this channel. All right, so we got that out the way. All right, y'all still coming in the room. Thank y'all so much for staying on here with me. Because I was not giving up. No. I said, oh no, I done worked all day. Edra done help me out with all of this information. I'm like, no, hold on, y'all. This is my grandson. Yes. Honey, he want that money for them little roadblocks, whatever game they be playing. I guess they need money for it. Oh, he been calling me about this money. So I said no. Whenever they fight, when my grandma always said, when the devil be fighting you like that, that's how you know you doing God's work. That's how you know there's something they don't want y'all to know. Because this is unbelievable, the amount of money that these people are asking us for. And I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel about it and what I see. I see in the new one, okay. So these are old comments when y'all was waiting on me to come on here. Okay, so Heavy Pedal Time was telling us about something that's going on. He said, check out QVTV. The land dispute started a riot in Jambang. Okay, I'm going to check with my people there. My psychotic cab driver drove the burning tires barricade. Are you seeing barricade and the pepper spray? This the young people. It's young people. He said it's young. What else? Tell me something else. What else you know? Just the thumbnail. Heavy pedal time. Gosh, stay safe. Okay, yeah, because it's Gambia has been busy lately. The young people are tired of the government shenanigans. I am only I am the only one. Am I the only one with no sound? No, there was no sound. I think I only want their previous okay, so they want their previous no, you're not. Kiki was trying to correct technical difficulties. Yeah, we had problems. We had a lot of problems earlier. Okay. Okay. Now y'all can hear me now. I'm on here. What's going on Kiki Loves Nigeria? We've been waiting. Oh, what was going on, honey, is I couldn't get on. YouTube, I mean, this StreamYard thing kept kicking me off. I didn't know what was going on. That usually that means that the devil's just fighting me and just doesn't want me to he wants me to get frustrated and give up and not get the word out. So evidently this word needs to be out, and it's probably needed to be out for quite some time. So I was trying to keep getting back on. Yeah, I was every time. It was horrible. It was very horrible and very frustrating. But like Empath said, I just kept going. I'm like, no, I'm not going to stop. People want to see this. I can tell when y'all want to see it by the comments. Now, I mean, not the comments, the likes. Like the video will get a lot of likes before the video airs. That's when I can tell this is something that y'all been wanting to talk about. Okay, yeah, y'all, please hit the like button. I bet Steph went to sleep. They got tired of waiting. I know they got tired of waiting. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, so now we ready. So now we are ready. All right, let me see. All right, we did that. So let me go back to my script. So, has anybody, this is what I want to know, have y'all seen the videos about them asking for the money? But they've been asking for money all along, okay? That's the thing that's ironic to me, that when I went through their channel, how they've been asking for money all along, all right? Let me pull up the channel again so y'all can see who I'm talking about, because some people might not know who we are talking about, all right? And at first I thought it was just him, but I'm like, no, both of them are in this together. They're in this money making thing together. All right, so this is AP. This is the guy we are talking about. His wife, he calls his wife King Jody. Okay, now I'm sorry, Queen Jody. So let me go back to my script. Again, they're from Jamaica. They basically sold everything they had to make this move to the Gambia. Okay, when they arrived in the Gambia, again, the plan seemed pretty clear. What they were going to do, they were going to live off social media. They were going to take donations. They were going to live off YouTube revenue. Okay, and maybe side projects that they were doing as content creators for other people. and he was making jingles because he's an artist and he's a pretty good artist. That the song I heard on his YouTube channel, I didn't really care for that, but he had another song. Oh my God, it was a really nice song, and I put it on my community channel, so community post, so you could see that. So that was their plan to make money. They were going to live off social media, donations, YouTube revenue, and maybe some side projects doing content creation for other content creators. That in itself doesn't seem too shady. Okay. So I'm like, okay, they use social media to live off of that. All right. So, but things started to shift. All right. But what's important is how, this is what I'm talking about, the shift, how they pivoted from one hustle to another hustle. That's when I was like, no. When I'm going through their channel, and I'm like, no, something's wrong here, because people don't jump around like that. Like, it's like they're going from one hustle to the next hustle. Did this hustle get some money? Did this hustle get some money? And then they run the hustle till they can't hustle it no more. Okay. And then they'll switch. Like she was saying in this one video, and that's basically what they said in one of the videos, that when they were talking about how they make money off of the internet, and she was like, you find one project and then you work that project and you double it up. He loved when she said double it up. So double it up means you just gonna milk it, and you gonna milk it, and you gonna milk it till you can't get nothing else out of it. And that's what they've done. That's what they do. That's what they do with these projects. They double them up. They keep on and keep on and keep on till there's no more donations to give, and then they pivot to a new hustle. And that's clearly laid out on their channel, because you can see a series of videos where they're just there, just being broke, living off their little $500, eating mangoes, living in this little round hut. How they was living was unbelievable. All right, living in this little round hut. Then they all of a sudden they're showing these houses, right? Like they are real estate agents. But what they do, people, they really just pay these people to let them make a video inside this house. Okay, this is what they do. So, but they're presenting it to us like, they've got some inside scoop or inside deal on these houses. And it's really just them, trying to make content for their YouTube channel to make money so they can just double it up. So they can show you the house, be the agent for the house, get a commission for the house. And he tells you that they're getting a commission for the house. After that, they did that for so long. Let me pull up their channel. They did that for so long. And then after that, after they did that, see, I went to the oldest videos, and then I just went down. This is when they're just touring around. They're just touring around. So let's look at this one real quick. Did I do fair use for this? This is fair use.
More than an Airbnb.
I'm sorry, y'all. Material on this channel, copyrighted material may be used, but it's in line with Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Okay, now this is when, I guess this is when they first moved in. Let's check this one out, so we can just get an idea of who these people are, what they do. So I guess first little house. But this is when they got there. They wasn't living like this for long, y'all. Nah, I wonder if this is even a house. Oh, their temporary home. Because this was not how they was living. This was not how they was living. So, when you first get there, they got a little money. So they probably had a little money and they moved into this house. But this was not how they were living after a while. So like I said, the beginning of, why do they got a camera inside the house? That's odd. That's odd. So this is probably when they first got there. When they had money, when they had their little 500. because this was their temporary house. They were not living like this for long. They were not living in this house for long. So this is them. This is the wife. I'm sorry, y'all. Did I move it? Oh, I did. Hold on. Let me go back. That's the plane ticket one. Let me go down to this one. Okay, let me let y'all hear what she's saying.
Not there. Then there. It's just that you don't see them often.
Yeah.
Understand? Because this is a big place. And I see one breadfruit tree. Thus far, I see one breadfruit tree. So I go by to the owner and say, hey, can I get a sucker? But anyways.
Breadfruit tree of sucker.
Yeah, so then grow.
Oh,
Whenever
yeah.
you see breadfruit tree, I grow from seed.
That's true.
So
what?
So this is their little temporary house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some Accusations.
Now some people are gonna wonder why you not build your own line? Why you not go buy some wire and set up your own line space? Why you not this? Why you not that?
But see what
Everybody have everything to say though.
Yeah, no, us just say, hey, I'm sending you a clothesline. No problem.
Ship it. We'll put it up. You understand? I mean, guys, this is just a temporary home. You know, we don't find way, as I'm call it, forever home yet. So we're really looking forward to that day. But you don't know the budget and the money or it's still and thing. Yeah, so we just have one rock with where we rock with until we move and settle down. You see me? Queen Jody can go crazy and do our planting
And decorating.
and do our decorating. What is it want to do?
And do my cooking.
You cook? You go cook too?
Yes.
You know, so somebody comment on your page today and them say, hey, we can cook Jamaican curry goat and sit. So you ever cook curry goat before?
I cook curry chicken before. Whenever I cook curry.
Okay, so that's them. Who y'all? How old is she? Does anybody on here know how old she is? He's probably almost 40. How old is she? Okay, so that's them. All right, and that was shortly after they got there. So like they went through these phases, like I was telling you. This is the phase of we're there, we're living like tourists, we're trying to get adjusted. We still got a little bit of money, but that quickly runs out. Okay. And that's when the pivoting begins. So I want to show you this video. We're going to go back and look at this other video. When AP just basically introduces himself and he introduces them. Because I wanted to know, what Jamaica seems like a nice place to me, and I'm wondering why you left Jamaica when Jamaica seems like a really nice place to it seemed like a nice place. So I was trying to figure out why did they feel like they needed to leave Jamaica and go to another country like Gambia when it's kind of the same. So in this video, they kind of answer that question for us. So let's play that.
Today I'm going to be talking about my reason for moving to the Gambia. Why I'm moving to the Gambia. Me and my wife, that's our goal to go to the Gambia. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And, if you're interested in African related topics, especially if you're reparting to Africa like ourselves, you will definitely want to subscribe to this channel as I would be sharing my journey, sharing my thoughts as I go along to the continent to build.
Y'all know whose theme that is. Remember African Powers? Vin Man. Remember Vin Man's channel, African Power? Yeah, that's his theme. Okay, hold on. Let me get this. All right, let's go.
It's in the description as well as my PayPal, guys. So let me share my story with you on why I am moving to the Gambia. Well, growing up as a child, guys, I've always felt like, there's somewhere else for me to be. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I grew up around the Rastafarian culture. At that time, my uncle, who was a Rastafarian, he basically inspired me, with the locks and, the whole Joe Rastafari movement. And, it was just positivity. It was nature. It was love. And for me, that was a very empowering time to, watch him and his friends, transition from just being a normal looking person, with low hair, jerry curl hair at the time, and moving into Rastafarianism, rough and lion looking like, you know. And as a child watching that, it was just inspiring for me. And because of him, basically get to know about Africa, to know about Marcus Garvey, to know about.
So that part, you guys, was really like shocking to me. So I'm like, you went all the way, you uprooted your whole life in Jamaica to go to the Gambia because you wanted to be a Rasta? A Rasta? A Rastaman? So you go all the way to Gambia? That doesn't make sense. Wasn't Bob Marley from Jamaica? So, I mean, I don't get it. They all listen, they all love Bob Marley. They all want to, be in Jamaica. So it's like it didn't make sense to me. Like you did all that because of Rastafarianism and Haile Selassie is from Ethiopia. You didn't even go to Ethiopia. You went to the Gambia. So I don't get it. That connection, just that right there, when he said that, I knew this person is very extremely immature. I said, okay, this is a very immature person. This is a very immature person, and they could not have had much of anything in Jamaica to just up and leave because I want to look like a lion. Now that explains to me. Remember, I couldn't understand why all the bumpsters look dirty like that. Well, he said that they want to have that unkept look. They want to look like a lion. I guess that's part of Rastafarianism. And he looks like a lion. He does. He really does. So, but to relocate to Gambia, of all places, a Muslim country, that's a Muslim country. They look down on people with dreadlocks and who follow Rastafarianism. So I don't understand his thinking. That shows you he don't understand his thinking. But let's continue. That's one thing I wanted to point out.
Lassie, Ethiopia, and Egypt and stuff like that, and Bob Marley music, and what he was singing at the time was so revolutionary. Even to me as a young kid growing up, it just means a lot to hear those messages. So I always resonate with Africa, and even as a kid growing up, it just felt like I didn't belong in Jamaica. Jamaica is beautiful. I love Jamaica. Everything about Jamaica is awesome. The people, the food, the vibes. And we are all Africans. However, something just didn't feel right to me here. It just feel like I needed to be somewhere. And at the time though, I wasn't thinking it was Africa, but so going through life, felt out of place, nothing to go right for me in this life the way I want it to go. It's like I can do so much, I have so much to offer, but it's like what I have to offer is not to be offered here in Jamaica. I don't know if that makes sense to you. If it resonates with you guys, drop a comment.
No, see, that's a problem with this person, okay? So you all, if you feel that, wherever you go, you're going to feel that because that's an internal struggle. It's an internal struggle that change is going on within him, but he didn't realize that. So the change was probably you need to go get a job. You probably need to go get some way, excuse me, to support your wife. He was probably having that internal struggle. And his response was, let me get up and go to Africa, to Gambia, of all places, where it's a conservative Muslim country, and I can practice Rastafarianism over there. That doesn't make sense. This sounds like, again, people who are running from themselves. And people, like I always tell you, you can't run from you. You got to take you wherever you go. And that's what you see in Gambia. You see them constantly pivoting. Now they've pivoted to they're going to build a house in 30 days without any money. And guess who's supposed to pay for it? We're supposed to pay for it. And guess who's been paying for it? We have. There are people actually giving them money to build a house. And guess what Edra told me? And I couldn't believe it. Y'all, she said they ain't even got a dang on foundation in the house. We gonna get to that. I couldn't believe it. We gonna get to that. Now let's finish this part.
Let me know if you understand how me feel when you're there somewhere and you just feel like, so boy, yes, so I'm there is not the place I'm supposed to be. And you know what I'm supposed to be doing, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know. So growing up, you know, Afrocentric ideologies are life, way of life. You know, has always inspired me in even my music, and you know the way I go about, you know, carrying myself. You know, I love nature. I love to be around nature. I love to be around animals and stuff. So I've always seen myself, you know, living in the hills like the Rastaman them and thing like that. So you know, um, years and years passed. You know, went to school, do music. You know, if you guys don't know, I do music. I'm a musician. You know, if you check my channel, you will see some of my songs that I've released. My latest one is called Black Sit. I'm sure you guys will love that one. That one is available on my Patreon as well as my song
Yes, see,
titled
that was
Overcome. So
probably the internal struggle, you know, because he's an artist, and artists think they don't want to be confined like to jobs and 9 to 5s and like what we think about. They don't, they're really creative and they want to be free. But sometimes it's difficult for them to support themselves. Okay. So he's probably going through that internal struggle of, again, I can't support myself as an artist. And instead of like, I got to get out here and work and try to balance both worlds, he feels like I just need to get up and leave. It's Jamaica. It's Jamaica. Jamaica is the issue. And I need to go from Jamaica to Gambia, of all places. Which we know that was not the right decision.
if you join my Patreon, you will get access to those two songs as well, you know.
But see,
And
again,
so
join my Patreon. He's always been
I have
about
been
the money.
influenced by, you know, the African spirituality, the African movement. Basically started to watch a whole heap of African videos and book up on a lot of Afrocentric YouTubers, you know, talking about African,
Been
you know,
influenced by
empowerment of
what?
Africa.
African spirituality. They are another one. African spirituality. So to them, African spirituality is witchcraft, y'all, because they don't be looking at the good side of it. They don't. They don't look at the positive side of it. I don't know what they look at, but I'm just generalizing from what we've been, the people we've talked about. Not one of them have looked at the good part of it. They all use witchcraft, try to manipulate people and situations.
And you know, learning about Egypt and our ancestors used to reign supreme in Africa,
Our
in the Mali
ancestors
tribe,
did
I
come
mean
with
the Mali kingdom, and you know, and how
this
Bookman, you know,
so
Bookman
stuff.
is basically a legend in Jamaica and Haiti. You know, Bookman basically come from what them call right now Senegambia, you know, and you know, Bookman came to Jamaica and he started a revolution. You know, even the Maroons, I think you could say Bookman have a lot to do with the Maroons in Jamaica. It's not just Nani and all these other people, you know. And most of those people were coming from, you know, Ghana, you know, Senegal, Gambia, them side there, you know. So I guess you could say, you know, I've been drawn to the Gambia because of these things, you know, doing history and doing, you know, research and, you know, where I'm coming from. I've always been curious about my roots and to really fit myself in this life, you know, where I belong and, you
So
know, how
now
I
he's
can use
pivoting again.
these skills that I have.
Now he's saying he's going because of the history. This person just seems like he's extremely confused to me. And these are the people who go to Africa. They're just like
This talent that I have to really help my people. You know, that's always been my number one motivator. You know, but still felt out of place, felt tormented. Ah, you know, some people say Jamaica is beautiful. How would you feel like that? But you know, when you want a spiritual connection, guys, you want to connect to something spiritual, it just don't feel right in your bones. It have nothing to do with beauty or, you know, higher vibration or whatever, because Jamaica full of corruption just like anywhere else too. You know, the system is
exactly.
not designed for people like me to
Gambia
really
full of
prosper, you know.
corruption.
You have to even
See, Gambia full of corruption. His whole argument doesn't make sense. So the real reason I think he's going to Gambia is because they feel like they can make it. They can. It's easier for them there. it'll be easier to hustle there than it is in Jamaica. That's what I really think. That it's easier that because what he's saying, it doesn't make logical sense. He's just throwing up different reasons that don't really have any valid point.
Do some stuff in this country, some illegal stuff, or you have to just lucky if you make a way through. You understand? But me, as a positive person, I always want to do the right thing to make a way through. So let me skip forward to why I'm moving to Gambia right now. So me and my wife, we start to do a lot of research, reading,
Wow, I thought he already
watching
told
what
us.
am I, watching other YouTubers, and we woke up on Black Sit channel and we start to watch her, and she basically started to talk about land buying and stuff like that, and we in the Gambia, I'm like, whoa, the Gambia. So we start to do research on the Gambia and more. And we realize, everything does right about it. It just look like home. The first time we saw it, we're like, this is where we want to go. And I remember one night I went to bed and I was sleeping. Because, I spoke to the ancestors and I'm like, ancestors, wherever in Africa that we are supposed to go, show us a sign. Because, I was willing to go anywhere on the continent. It doesn't matter. You understand? Ghana, Nigeria, Rwanda, any one of these countries, because Africa is beautiful across. It's not just Gambia or whatever. The whole of Africa beautiful. And, for me, maybe there is some history. Africa, we travel all over Africa. So, our goal is to go there and really to travel across Africa and to meet with the people and to vibe and to spiritually align and connect with self and to build. You understand me? I say with brothers and sisters, because it's time, and we're seeing what's going on out there in the wider world, and we want to contribute as much as we can to the movement. You understand?
He gave us so many reasons. I'm not even sure what is the reason why they really went to Gambia, other than everybody else who went there was because they thought it was an easy way to come up. They thought it was an easy come up. They thought it was an easy hustle and come up. And especially when you go there, especially back then when they were going, when it was still not really developed like it is now, you could easily go there and think, oh, I could bring my money, I can bring my talents, I can bring whatever, and I can just hustle and come up. But as you see, all those people who went there and took everything and thought they were going to hustle and come up, where did they end up? Back in the United States. Back in the United States. So, sounds like these are the same type of mentality, the hustle and come up crew. Debo says, I watch the Smiths sometimes. I actually like them, but I'm still not sure of many things. It's okay to like them. I mean, you can like them if you want to. It's just, I just think they're bums. I just don't like people who feel like, we should sustain their lifestyle. I don't like that. I think that's exploiting people. Why should we build your house? Why should we support you when you go to Africa and you had no plan when you got there or when you were going there, and now your plan was to hustle us? And I just don't like that. I don't like people like that. I don't like people who try to exploit our people. I never saw the video of them asking for money. They ask for money of all of their videos. Oh, I'm going to play it on here. All of the videos they ask for money. He just told you to go to his Patreon. The Patreon is when you donate money. So let's check out their channel. So let me show you this part. This is how these people's identity, they just create who they want to be. You know what I mean? Like, I have documents, I have certificates to certify who I am. And this isn't some made up person of who I want to be. These people just make up who they want to be. So let me show you this. So I went also, when I was going through their channel, I looked to see what, you go to what's the channel about. So now I noticed there are no more African pickaninny. They're now build with the Smiths. I said, build with the Smiths. Oh, so they want to be like Daniel. They want to get into this buildings content creation now. Okay, because building content creation, they looking at that as money. All right, because remember, these people are African pickaninny is going to pivot wherever they need to pivot to get some money, because they went to Gambia with $500, and if you think that $500 lasted long, you better think again. Even in 2021 or whenever they went, that was not $500. No, that's nothing. So this is what they say they do. They say, welcome to our journey. Now, remember, if somebody doesn't know that this is African pickaninny, they're going to think this is some new people who just, who are in the Gambia and who are building. No, this is African pickaninny, okay, who went with $500 with no goal but to hustle, no skills, no money, no education. And they're telling you this. I'm not saying this. They're saying this in their video. They're telling you in their video they had no money, they had no education, they had nothing. This is coming out of, I don't know these people. I'm not going to just sit up here and lie on these people. This is coming out of their mouths, not mine. So now they've pivoted and they've become builders. Because why? In my humble opinion, because that's a new hustle and that's a fast way to get some money. Now, let's see what they say. We help you buy land, build homes, and create sustainable freedom in Africa. So if you do that, how come you can't create sustainable freedom for you all, for your own family? How come you can't create sustainable freedom for your household? Why do you have to beg us for money? Why do you have to depend on the repack community to support you if you're an expert at creating sustainability? You haven't even created sustainability in your household, starting with the Gambia. For relocation tips and land flipping strategies. What land flipping strategies what land have you flipped? So he buys land and he flips land. Where does he get money to do that, people? Do you even ask that? Where does he get money to buy land and flip land? He's not buying nothing. He's leasing it. So he's leasing it, then he's subleasing it. And he's going to sublease it to you for whatever's left on his lease, because that's how it works, because the leases are only for 21 years. So if he's had it for 5, how many will you have it for? 16. That's how it works. So he's not selling you anything. So all of this language about I'm flipping land, how are you flipping leased land? Land that belongs to the government of the Gambia. How are you doing that? The off-grid housing projects. Listen to this. Construction management in the house that you're building for your family, your wife and your baby, but it has no foundation. It has no foundation. How are you building a home and it has no foundation? We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Our channel is your behind the scenes pass into real estate, investment, and purpose. Again, these people need to be reported to the Federal Trade Commission, because they're telling you that they can guide you in real estate investments, and they do not have a real estate license. They do not have an investment license. These people need to be reported and shut down. This is illegal, people. I can't advise you on any investments without a license. It's called an investment broker's license. You have to be licensed or certified, one of the two. I can't remember which, but it's one of the two. You can't just go to Gambia with $500 and sell your car and your refrigerator and everything in your little apartment and then call yourself an investment broker, that you're helping these people with their real estate investment deals. You've got to be joking. You've got to be joking. This cannot be real. People, you know what we need to do. You know what we need to do. They're on here playing like this when all of this is illegal. All of this, for me to even, I cannot come on YouTube. I cannot go anywhere and tell you that I can advise you in your on investments when I'm not certified and I'm not licensed. I cannot do that. And the Federal Trade Commission of the United States of America says that. They need to be reported. And they need to be reported to the FBI. Because that's who you report these people to, who do things like this. Because you can't do what they're doing. You can't do that. Now let me finish. Let me finish. See, this is why Tanzania stopped all of this. You can't do this stuff as a foreigner over there because they were lying, because it breaks our laws. Our laws say you cannot do this, and their laws say you can't do that. They're not Gambians. How are they involved heavily in this land trading and investment business like Kinza? When you're not a Gambian, you're not selling land, you're leasing land. You're subleasing it. Started with just 500 and a dream and moved from Jamaica to the Gambia and built a life through real estate, music, and entrepreneurship. Really? Really? So you must have a real estate license since you've built your life in the Gambia through that, and music and entrepreneurship. Now we're here, look, we're here to go. Oh my goodness. We're here to guide you, inspire you, and walk you every step of the way. Whether you're dreaming of owning land or investing smartly or starting a new life on the continent. Expect land tours, property breakdowns, and real-time builds, off-grid living, tiny home designs, and investment tips. Our music, story, and lifestyle. Wow. United Kingdom. They joined YouTube in 2011. Wow. This is really interesting. So what y'all think about that? Isn't that just interesting? How you have nothing. You can do nothing. You can do nothing in Jamaica. Nothing. Yep, you can't do nothing in there. Hold on, y'all. One second. All right, let me get back to y'all. What y'all think about that? Oh, excuse me. What do y'all think about that? So, I just asked AI some questions about their about me statement. Because I was just like, well, I was reading and I was like, wow, there's a lot of red flags in here. And I said, but maybe that's just me. Let me see if I can get AI to interpret this, to analyze this real quick, and let me see if it really is some red flags in their about me statement. I'm just like, nah, this just don't sound right. This just don't sound right, you know. So let's see what AI has to say about it, okay? So I asked about the red flags, right? It says number one, start with just 500 in a dream. They said red flag potential. The red flag potential claims that significant results. Oh, remember he told chat, they told us that last time. Remember they told us that last time. That's the first clue when we're involved, a red flag that it's a scam. That when they make significant claims of results. Moving countries, investing in real estate, building a life can be achieved with a very small starting amount are common get rich schemes. Realistically, buying land and building homes in another country usually requires substantial funds. Tip: verify cost immediately. Ask for proof of transactions or property ownership. That's the first thing they say. When they start that $500 at the dream, honey, he said, no, that's the first time they lying because they making you a promise because you're moving to another country. All right. And they're telling you all you need is $500 to move to this other country. No, AI saying they lying. They saying they lying straight up. They lying. They lying. All right. So now it's saying relocation to a foreign country, right? That's another thing. Hold on. Let me take a sip of this. He says that's a I don't know if this, I call him not a man. I don't know if this is a man or not. But he says relocation to another country. That's another red flag potential. Moving internationally involves legal, financial, logistical hurdles. They don't never tell you that, do they? Scammers sometimes use relocation guides to entice people to send money for visas, land, or services that don't exist. Tip: check official government resources for the Gambia about visas, land purchases, and foreigners owning property. Because you cannot own it, you can lease it for 21 years. And if you take over somebody else's lease, like they're trying to sell this land that he claimed he doesn't own it, but he's trying to sublease this land that he leased someplace else. All right, what you're going to do is take over that lease. So it's still the 21 years. So if he's had it for 10, you're only going to get it for 11. The third red flag AI tells you to get looked for is land flipping off-grid projects. They love to talk about that one, y'all. I do off-grid projects and land flipping. I never heard nobody say land flipping but them. Okay, so AI says red flag potential. Land flipping schemes can be legitimate, but they are high risk for fraud. Overseas land scams are common, especially in developing countries where land registry systems are less land registry systems are less transparent. Tips: verify property records and with local authorities and ask for legal binding documentation. Avoid upfront payments without independent verification. Did he tell you any of that? Verify property records with local authorities, not with him. Not with him. So when he's showing you those papers and when he said, you don't need to ask nobody else, I'm going to show you the video. You don't need to ask nobody else. I got documents. AI is telling you that is a big red flag potential. Don't say Kiki said it. Say Kiki read it. We will guide you. AI says number 4, we will guide you every step of the way. Red flag potential. Heavy emphasis on mentorship, guidance, and personal involvement can be a tactic to build trust quickly. Scammers often promise personal help to lower skepticism. Number 5, lifestyle showcasing, real estate, music, entrepreneurship. AI calls that showcasing their lifestyle. How many times have we heard these people showcase their lifestyle? Red flag potential. Presenting a glorious, we did it from nothing story can be a psychological tactic to make people feel they're missing out on an opportunity. And what is that called, y'all? The fear of missing out. And we know that is a marketing strategy that they use. Number 6, lack of verifiable details. No legal business name, license, or proof of property ownership is mentioned. Let me read that again. No legal business name, license, or proof of property ownership is mentioned. No links to official registrations in the Gambia. Red flags increase if the social media channel relies solely on storytelling rather than verifiable evidence. Do we have to protect yourself? Do we have verifiable evidence though? No, we don't. We ain't never had no verifiable evidence of nothing they say. Only person who said anything that was verifiable was James. UN, Ton Africa. He was the only one who had some verifiable evidence, and then he was gone. We don't know. He didn't finish the story. He was supposed to come back and tell us the rest, but he didn't. So I'm going to show you what James had to say, what UN, Ton Africa, had to say. So AI says how to protect yourself from people like this. Always verify property ownership through official channels. So when he's telling you you don't need to go talk to nobody, you don't need to see no other papers, all you need to see is what he's showing you. This is AI, AP, whatever his name is, AJ. What's that man name? AP, him. He's trying to sublease this land that he's leasing. Okay. And I guess people want to go ask questions, and he's getting upset because people are asking questions, and he's saying they don't need to ask no more questions. They need to just believe what he's saying. No, sir. AI says never pay up front for exclusive deals or mentorship without signed contracts. Sammy. Look for independent reviews or news coverage of their projects. Do we have any of that? No, we don't. Watch for high pressure tactics like limited spots or act now. Well, what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? I had no idea. I had no idea that was going to come up. Wow. That's interesting. So, let me see what y'all saying. No, I don't watch them, but I hear they burn every bridge they cross. Oh, my. Well, let's watch this. That brings us to UN's video. Wow. So let's go down here to UN's video. Since we're talking about they burned every bridge in Africa, let's put on my buddy, my pal, UN, and see what he heard. Because he got some information about them. All right, let's check this out about them burning bridges.
Day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video, guys, it's late on a Monday evening, but everybody's back to work, everybody's back at school, and I thought I would sit down with you guys to have a nice little chat. In today's video, I wanted to speak a little bit about my channel, right, and the way it is formulated. So you guys know that I find people from all over the world that have gone back to Africa. And for one reason or another, all these people tend to be scammers, or they tend to be people who are there for the wrong reasons. Now, guys, one thing I don't normally do is go back into the history of these people, because in general, I don't know where these people have come from.
And I do.
Normally,
that's what he said. You don't know where these people come from. No, you don't. So what do you have to do? You have to go back. You have to go back and look at their chronological timeline so you can see who you're dealing with. Because, see, like my grandma always said, the devil will tell you who he is. He will show you who he is. Because, honey, he loves to talk about himself. He loves to brag on himself. So you got to go back. And when you go back, that's when you find out who they really are.
I have the opportunity to look at the history of people, where they have come from and what they have done and the reasons why they have come to Africa to do their scamming. It's only then that I would realize that these people are actually much worse than what we actually think. It's very unfortunate that we're in this position where we are having to keep an eye over people who are coming back from the diaspora to rob us of our money, or to give us products and services that are below par. So why do they do it? Why move halfway around the world to do their scamming? It's because they have the opportunity to live a better life. But
and they think it's
you got to remember,
he's right. They believe they have the opportunity to live a better life, but they also think it's going to be easier to commit the scam, because I've heard them say they chose Gambia because Gambia's government is lax. They feel like the government is lax over there, and they can get away with criminal activity that they couldn't get away with over here. And trust me, like I said, people have told me that. And I'm like, wow. So you're really going to Gambia to just do dirt? How terrible are you? How terrible are you?
To actually make that journey, they got to pick up their sticks and actually move across the water. And many of the times in which these people are doing it, it's not like they're doing well in the diaspora. I guarantee you, if most of these people were doing extremely well in the United States or in Jamaica or back in the UK, I can almost guarantee you they wouldn't be moving to the Gambia.
He's right.
The reason they're moving is because there is an opportunity there to make themselves rich and to live a better life, and to also start a new life, a life where they don't have a criminal record, a life in which people look at them differently, like they are on a different plateau. All of a sudden, they are the de facto white people when it comes to them moving to the Gambia or to Ghana. So you got a lot of these Ghanaians and you got these Gambians calling us two babs. Well, there's a reason for that. And that's because most of these scammers, when they move over to Africa, they begin to act like them. You understand? So they see the two as being equal, white people and also the scammers. They see them as equal because, hey, they are acting the same way. And if anything, they see the white people as being better people because They don't have to scam the Africans. They don't have to scam their own people. Gonna stop with the preamble, okay?
Right.
I wanted to speak with you more specifically about Jody and AP and what exactly they did in order to get over to the Gambia in the first place. So guys, I made a couple of videos about them last week, and we realized that they did not have that much money. They were struggling, right? So why were they struggling? Well, because they didn't arrange their finances before they went over to the Gambia in the first place. It's good to have some money, to earn some money. And this is why a lot of people use YouTube as a second stream of income, or even a third stream of income for some people. So AP and Queen Jody moved over from Jamaica to the Gambia. And they didn't move to the Gambia because they wanted to be amongst their people. They're living in Jamaica. They are amongst their people.
Right.
Okay. The vast majority of the people who live in Jamaica, over 90% of the people that live in Jamaica, look like us. So they weren't going there to escape racism or anything like that. They were going back to Africa for another reason. And I think that reason is more insidious. So, guys, what have they done? I know it's late on in the video, but I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification, and please consider supporting the channel on our Patreon, link in the description. And I'm also going to invite you to please follow the Oversight channel, the channel that is there to help you to invest on the African continent, both safely and securely. Man, and we're going to get into this. Guys, I was on the phone to somebody. I can't say who that person is. I'm not even going to say whether it's a male or a female, but somebody in Jamaica. This person is a very reliable source, okay? But I cannot give out names and I cannot tell you who this person is. So this person has gone ahead and told me how AP and Queen Jody managed to muster the bit of money together to make their way over to the Gambia and have a bit of money in their pocket. And the way they did it is going to surprise some people. The way they did it is they managed to steal the money. Allegedly, they stole the cash.
Wow.
From AP's father and mother-in-law. This is a crazy accusation for this person to say to me, okay? But this person has no reason to lie. Not that I know of. This doesn't change anything. It's still an accusation. And both AP and Queen Jody are absolutely innocent, right? Until I can prove otherwise, right? This is the court, right? This is like the court of public opinion. And I need to get it out there, because if this is true, then AP and Queen Jody have a lot of explaining to do. Not just to me, but to all those people who follow them on their YouTube channel, to all those people who trust in them, who rely on them when they are doing business deals with them, land deals, property deals. This is important, because if this is true, then AP and Queen Jody should never be trusted under any circumstances. I'm putting this on YouTube in order to reach out to people. If Queen Jody and AP, if they want to come out and if they have something to say about this, this is their opportunity to reach me on tuntalks@gmail.com. They can send me an email there and we can talk about it. Because if I don't speak to them about it, I'm going to speak to their parents about it. Because I do have the ability to contact their parents. And I shouldn't say their parents. It's AP's father and his mother-in-law. I do have the ability to contact them, at least his father anyway. Not sure about the mother-in-law. It's not something that I want to do. I don't want to start prying in other people's business. I don't think that's fair. But if this has actually happened, boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'm going to have to really lay it down with them. I would have to do a lot more research into why these people managed to do something so heinous, so cold-hearted to their parents. Why would you do something like that to somebody that gave you life and brought you into this world.
Exactly.
Why would you even then leave them in the lurch? There are many questions that need to be asked about this. And what I don't want to do from a Jamaican to another Jamaican is blast you. You understand? Let it get to the point in which people are bringing me the evidence and saying, hey, he absolutely did it. I don't want that. I don't think that would be a nice position or a situation
and that's what people
for
do.
Queen Jodie and AP, two people who have been struggling for the past year and who are finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. This actually adds a lot of credence to the accusations made by Phoenix Rain that AP and Jodie somehow subverted paying their rent to Phoenix Rain by leaving Phoenix Rain's compound in the middle of the night under the cover of darkness the day before they were supposed to pay their rent. Yes, they packed up everything whilst Phoenix Rain was asleep upstairs and left the compound. Now, the amount of money that they have allegedly stolen is not a huge amount of money. It's less than $1,000. However, the amount doesn't really matter. This is not about the amount. This is all about having some empathy for your parents. Right. Something that people will 90% of the time naturally have, and that he genuinely doesn't.
All right, so let's stop there.
If he has ended up stealing his father's money so he can make the journey to the Gambia. I know that a lot of their land deals, they don't give the paperwork out in full. And this is weird. You know, it's not like people don't know that there are scam artists with the land and the Akala papers aren't being signed up properly or given to them at all, which is the only form of receipt that you should accept in the Gambia. If your property agent, your land agent isn't giving you that paperwork, then they're not your property agent, they're scam artists. Simple as that.
So he's not giving
until
them
proven otherwise.
Paperwork.
Until you have that Arcalo paper in your hand, you should always make the assumption that these people are out to take your money. End of story. They don't care about whether you get the land or not. They want their cut. Now it's your problem. I don't dislike those two. I actually.
Okay, so I want to look at these comments. See if there's any comments in here. Okay. So they're just saying they don't think they've done anything wrong. Okay. All right, so let me see what y'all got to say about that. So let's go down here. Oh, Lord, I'm so behind on these comments. This channel, is his channel registered in Jamaica? Who? T&K? Andrew, I hear you. Okay. Yeah, he is a fraud. I'm glad he left YouTube. Do you remember who you talking about? I remember seeing a video of them selling their car in Jamaica. Yeah, I thought that was part of their money used to get there. No, they had to buy the plane ticket. So remember, they needed money for the plane ticket, and they came with $500 cash. And I remember them saying that. So I'm thinking that's the money that UN was talking about, that person was talking about that they stole, was that $500 cash. Allegedly. We don't know for sure. This is just what we heard. I don't believe a word he says, Leah says. I avoid listening to detail. No, T&K says, I avoid listening to details about that monster. Okay. Banking in Jamaica is tricky because of all the scamming there. Oh, for real? Edra says, just a side note, didn't Dr. Umar Johnson use the same excuse regarding his school? What? I don't watch Umar Johnson. Haile Selassie gifted the Rastafari land in Ethiopia. Well, he should have went there. Well, that explains a lot. Definitely won't prosper. Edra says, I wonder if that's why his Jamaican bank account is frozen. He said he can't get his YouTube money. His account in Jamaica is frozen. Oh, that's probably why. Something's wrong. They only freeze your account when something's wrong. Yeah. So that's probably why. So he can't get his YouTube money. So he needs you to give it directly to him. Makes sense because it seems like they burnt all their bridges. Rastas talk about Ethiopia as the motherland mostly. Well, why didn't he go there? I wish I had his knowledge. He knows everything. Team member says, I miss him too. Right? Who moves broke? Exactly, Jam Jars. I miss Unapologetic. I do too. He would have some good stories now. FYI, I'm aware of our connection issues earlier, but along with myself, Kiki, we all just hung in there. We sure did. Thank you, Kiki. The lessons learned from the information shared here are totally worth the work, the wait. Oh, Miss Susan, you're so sweet. Thank you. Because people need to know. All I was thinking about was these. Because I told y'all my mom used to give people money like that, right? My mom used to. I mean, it would be family members who would be scamming her. And I would just be like, what? But she done gave these people, I don't know how much money. Believing they got in some kind of problem or they needed when they just really just, y'all know what they was doing with the money. Y'all know what they was doing with the money. But I'm like, my mom was like that. So that's why. And if she knew about YouTube and was able to get on YouTube, and if she would listen to some of these sob stories, oh my God, my mom would be giving up all kind of money. That's why I'm like, no, I got to say something because, my mom was that type of person. She had a real kind heart and she felt like money was made to give it away. She said that was the purpose of it, to spend it and give it away. What was the purpose of holding on to it when you could give it away and somebody else could use it? So she was that type. So yeah, that's another reason why I do them, because, I don't like to see people scammed or taken advantage of. I don't like that at all. At lady, you mean $10? They must be scammers. Okay, wow. Okay, y'all talking Kiki School. Oh, thank you, TK. Welcome to Kiki School of Life. Y'all know we got 2 shares on this video. Oh my God, thank y'all so much. All right, please make sure y'all like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Wasn't meant to be, lady, Jam Jar says. So we didn't go and look. London Lady says, last year, London Lady says, when we were in Gambia, we called a number that was on their page to go and view some land. However, it wasn't them. AJ, what's the dude named AP and Jody themselves? And they wanted 800 Jalasi to even view this land. See what I'm saying? No, it's not them. It is not them. They're just the front people. I told y'all they use them to get us to trust them, to get us to call. They sure did, they said. I'm going backwards, y'all. The biggest red flag is that he is in the Gambia and not in Jamaica. Thank you, Cotton Top. The name King is suspect. Claims he helped build a house for someone for free. Okay, so now, right, Jam Jar, shoot, I don't remember his name. Who that is? AJ, AP, DJ, who exactly? One of them? Shoot, I don't know. Wants to put the roof on and move in one room to keep them pay, to stop them from paying rent. Okay, so see, that's the same thing Black Acres said. That's what they all do. See, this is a lazy man, and he don't care nothing about that woman. And that woman just putting up with that. I wish you would move me into a house like that. I wish you would move me into something like that. Me and my baby? Are you out of your mind? In the middle of nowhere? In one room? And it don't even have no foundation. So they're going to put, when they putting the foundation down, Edra, when is he going to do that? When is he going to do that? See, y'all, I feel like this is all just a scam. I really do. And this is just my personal opinion. I'm just looking at this whole, so he going to put one room down. He going to get one room together. When he going to do that? When is he gonna do that? Why would you build that big old house and you ain't got no money? Why you say you doing these tiny houses? So why wouldn't they build a tiny house? Did y'all see they was talking about them tiny houses too? The same thing PVTV was talking about, them tiny houses. I wonder whose idea was it first. Yeah, we're going to get to that too. So they was real estate people trying to get you to do these tiny houses that they wanted you to build. What does he know about building? Exactly, T and K. You know how many tradesmen are needed in Jamaica right now? They are about to import workers, right? So if you're such a good tradesman, why aren't you there? Exactly. Why, like all the people came to be teachers in Africa. Why aren't you here? It's a really bad shortage on teachers here. Why aren't you here? They'll pay you just about anything. Why aren't you here? Because it's not true. You're over there doing what? Struggling? Even if you're retired, you can make you a nice little bit of change. Get your retirement, get your work check. Man, you can get your Social Security check. You can stack all that money. Live lovely in the Gambia or wherever you are. Exactly. That's what I want to know. Now, let me see it. Speaking of T and K always leads us into the next topic, which is the tiny home. All right. So, all of a sudden, they're building these tiny homes. And I was thinking when I watched this, tiny homes, well, that's the same thing dude was talking about. This is the same thing. What's his name, y'all? What was his name? PVTV, Adam was talking about it. So this is the same thing he was talking about. So, or is it tiny house? Let me say tiny house. So I guess this tiny house was like a movement or something going on there. And we're going on period. Remember when everybody was moving into these tiny houses? Well, they also wanted to start a tiny house project. That's the rental house. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find the video now. Because I think this is it. So I was got kicked off of here, so I had to get all the videos back up. And this one, they was living in that little round wood, that little round house. Remember when they was living in that little round house? This is that video. This is one of those videos. So in this video I'm about to show you, this is when they're doing this construction movement for the tiny house. And exactly, this is what I'm thinking while I'm watching this. What experience do they have building? How are they doing this, going to do this? So check out this. And I want you to check out how she's washing these dishes also. This is just mind-boggling me. I couldn't really even listen because I was too busy looking at how she was washing these dishes. Because I'm just like, what? Pay attention to how she washing these dishes.
If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, welcome back, guys. You don't know? Yeah? Life in the Gambia is beautiful. What can I say? Shout out to our Patreon family. Guys, thank you so much. Listen, now that we are Koyawelan, guys, our goal is to build a tiny home. We want to build a tiny home out there. Let me tell you why. Use of space. Jody, you explain it. Because you were telling me about tiny home the other day.
All right, you see.
So if this was the case, why did they build that big old house? If they knew they was going to use, they were in for this tiny seat. This is how you know these people be lying. Because, okay, now when they get the opportunity to really build, did they build a tiny home? No. And now they want to get it done in 30 days, and now he can't get it done. So now he's telling you, oh, just give us enough to build one room. Just give us enough because we spent our rent money. So you a grown double ASS man, overgrown man. Go work. Go find a way to get the money. So you made that decision, then you deal with it. How dare you come on YouTube and ask us to put pressure on older people to feel sorry for you and your wife and your baby because you don't take on the responsibilities of a man, and that's work. Why can't you work? Why can't you do something besides get on YouTube and ask us to give?
With tiny homes,
Yes.
I know a lot of people who won't go for that, but if you're thinking of living minimalistic, you know, certain things wouldn't be of value.
They weren't thinking like, minimalistic, but we gotta think minimalistic.
Certain things in our value. Yeah. Like that, for say, or maybe if you stack up my closet with all 50,000 clothes and 50,000 shoes where you only ever wear one for the, you know, that kind of way there.
Whoa, that's deep. Go.
So
that's deep.
So the tiny house idea is like that. The space, I'm a person that loves space, but I love more of natural space. So the less I use up the land, we use up the land for building, you know, the structure. I will have more space to do gardening and do more outdoor activities, because to be honest, it's better to be outdoor than indoors locked up in a
big You
understand?
But you know me like still with tiny house, as you just mentioned, is I never thought of it like that. It will help you to save, because you don't have the space. You're not gonna buy it.
Exactly. And the whole thing is that
he sure was.
Home, you can actually rent.
Yeah, he sure was. That was crazy earlier. That was really crazy. But I was like, something inside of me was just like, nope, you're not giving up. We're not giving up. We putting this out here tonight. We putting this out here. So let's finish this.
A tiny home. For people who don't want to spend long term, you know, and they just come in for a short term to stay and they need a place, you can always rent out that tiny home. You understand?
You know what I have to say, guys, if you like the tiny home idea, comment below and let us know, right? Let us know. I mean, we see other people building tiny home. I get container home across Africa, right? They're building container houses and stuff like that. So
and most containers are like what, 8 feet, 10 feet.
Yeah.
So this was our tiny home movement. But what I found remarkable about this video was how she was washing them dishes with her hand. And then that little dirty sponge she was using. I didn't play in the whole video, but at the end, she actually washed the counter down with that sponge and then washed the sink out and then went back and got some of those dishes that she washed with her hand and washed them out with that sponge that she had just washed the sink and the counter down with. And that just made me so sick. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. That was just something I had to comment on. But yeah, now contradictions. You said build a tiny house so you could save land and you could have all this room. But when it came to their opportunity, their chance to build, why wouldn't they build a tiny house? Because they ain't paying for it. We paying for it. And guess how much they was charging to build the tiny houses? $15,000. The same thing PBTB was charging to build the tiny houses when you did it on interest. If not, there was $1,000 less. So who's really still in that idea of the tiny home? But anyway, so let me go down here and get y'all new comments. Team member says, I ain't never met a woman who didn't need, oh God, okay. She has beautiful hair. She does. She does. Wait a minute. Where are we at? Okay, right here. She has beautiful hair, yes. Critiques how a person washes dishes. Yeah, I do. Because you know why? That's a sanitation issue right there. That means you need to see, you don't even get it. That means you need to be careful whenever you go to somebody's house to eat, because you don't know how they're washing those dishes. Now, you just seen that woman on YouTube wash those dishes with her hands in probably cold water. and then wash the sink out, and then use that same dirty sponge to wash those dishes out, and you don't think that's a life lesson? Well, let me tell y'all, that's a life lesson. That means don't you eat at everybody's house you go to, because you don't know how they cleaned those dishes. You don't know if their sanitation standards are up to yours. You don't know what you consider clean, they may not consider clean. And that is a life lesson. That's even at a restaurant. So say this person worked at a restaurant. She in the back washing dishes. You think she ain't gonna use that hand technique? Oh no. That is a big life lesson right there. Wow. That's crazy. That just made me want to throw up. TNK says, I'm like that too, Kiki. I don't eat food unless I know how. Yeah, yes. Because that can make you sick. Yep, thank you, Susan. Yep, that can make you sick. TNK said broke AZZ dishwashing. That's what it is. See, everything about them was not, we're broke. Not that we have little money, we're broke, and we've been broke. We haven't had money all our lives. Do y'all know that technique to wash dishes is when you have nothing? I don't have a rag. I don't have nothing but my hand. Do y'all understand that? No, you don't. Because you don't understand our culture. Because if you understood our culture, you would know that's a culture clue that person is from the very low. And that ain't a put down. That's an observation. That's an observation. And now you taking somebody who's from the very low, who's on YouTube, asking us for money to support them to build a big house in the Gambia. They have no income. They have nothing but donations. And they don't get nothing. And even if they was getting them checks on YouTube, I'm looking at their views. They're not getting that much money, y'all. Y'all got to understand, YouTube don't pay like that. These people are lying. If you got a big channel like O'Shea and you get lots of views, like O'Shea got I don't know how many channels. You know, he gets lots of views on all those channels. So he'll do pretty good. But somebody like me, somebody like them, no, you're not making no money on here. You're making maybe a little change. I call it change. You know, it's not nothing you can live off of. It's not nothing you could really even pay some bills with. It's just a little thank you. That's all it is. And these people planning their whole life on a little thank you check. But that's why I said you don't see, team member doesn't understand. See, those are big clues that he doesn't get. Team member is Kiki channel. She can do what she want. What team member? What are you talking about? I ain't never met a woman who didn't need to be. Okay. Okay, we talked about that. Yeah, washing dishes with her hands. Yeah, I can't even believe it. I seen, you know, like when I was little, my uncle, he was older. He was an older uncle. And he would show us little survival skills, right? And one of the survival skills he showed us was how to wash dishes with our hands. And he was like, if you don't got a rag, and you ain't got a sponge, you ain't got nothing, you can use your hand. And you remember, he would drink a lot. So he was always smelling like alcohol. He was always tipsy, right? But he was always real nice to us kids, and he was always showing us something. So he showed us how to wash dishes with our hand. And he said, this is something you do when you ain't got nothing to clean the dishes with, but you can use your hand to clean the dishes. And that's how I know, because, you know, I was raised that way. I mean, I was schooled on life. Honey, I try to give knowledge. I really do. Why do those broke brothers always have kids? Do you understand? No. And he not only broke, he lazy. He don't want to work. And every Jamaican I know, and honey, I've known lots of Jamaicans. And I ain't known not one Jamaican who just had one job. I have not known one Jamaican who don't have 2, 3 jobs. And I was so blown away when I was younger because my Jamaican friends would be like, they got 3 jobs. And I used to sit there and think, well, how in the world do you work 3 jobs? You know, my mind would just be blown. They get off one job, go to another job, get off one job, go to another job, then go home and sleep, then get up and do it all over again. So that's why I said he's lazy. Jamaicans work hard. They work. That they're known for working. They are workers. No, he's lazy. I don't think they're that bright. They're not. Team members, that's the school of life. Yeah, they're not that bright. They can't be. Kiki, you are so judgmental. Well, it's my opinion, of course. It's my show. It's my show. I'm talking. I'm giving you my opinion as I talk. That's what you do. That's part of it. So, of course, it sounds just, I'm the only one talking. So it sounds like that. Whoever is trending, they gift off of it. They grift off of it. Whatever is trending, they grift off of it. Yeah, they did. Oh, so she's right. Oh, T and K, good observation. Because when the housing thing was trending, they grifted off of that. Remember when everybody was showing houses, right? That's what AI said. That's why it was dangerous, because they pivot a lot. Okay, so look. Then what did they do after that? They went to the land stuff. Remember? They were showing you land. They were land agents. Remember? And now they pivoted again. What are they doing now? What's trending now? This building thing. So what are they doing? They're grifting off of that. These people are nothing but grifters. Nothing. Nothing but grifters. That's all. She's absolutely right. And that's what I was trying to say. Thank you, TNK. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Intentions are suspect, Jam Jar says, and she's right. He tends to build a big why? Yeah. Why? Why do he intend to build a bigger house later when he's telling everybody else to live in them small, tiny houses? It's crazy work, moving broke and living in the dirt. I don't get that either. I watched a document of gypsies living in a half-built house to avoid paying taxes. Oh my God. So when someone mentioned AP and Jody using the half-built house to not pay rent, makes sense. Wow. So you don't even care how you live. I can't live like that, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't. Yeah, he's a fraud. I'm glad he left YouTube. Okay, this is somebody else. Okay, yeah, I just can't. I can't. I don't know how you let your kids and your wife live like that. It's like cleaning everything except your floors. Oh, what? So they just gonna have it. Okay, I'm gonna go back through. Yeah, I had to stop at the one video where he was there and he puts on this African accent. His videos are so boring. He doesn't put anything into this content creation because it's building. When you're doing this building stuff, there's no content creation. Okay, you just let the camera roll, which is easy for a lazy man like him. Okay, so he's just letting and he's nasty. Oh my God, did y'all see the one when he was coughing and spitting and just, it was so disgusting. And you want to know why that's important, team member, to know that a person isn't sanitary when they're coughing and spitting up mucus? Because that's just disgusting. Do you know he didn't even wash his hands? And he's coughing, sneezing, spitting up, and you can hear him spit the mucus out on the ground. He could have cut that out the video. Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he do that? That just makes me think these are dirty, unsanitary people on top of everything. And why would you be doing business with a dirty, unsanitary person? Because if they're dirty on the outside, like Black Acres say, they're dirty on the inside. Oh, God. It's like cleaning everything except your floors. How do you? Ugh. I agree, especially the younger ones. They want fast money or are begging. Yep. The member TNK team member says the membrane is washing off in the USA. It's false sense of cleanliness that they get you all to believe, while the rest of the world washes their dishes with their hands. Ugh. Ugh. No. 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 You wash your dishes with your hands then. Team member, they are lazy ones in Jamaica. They're broke, so many jobs. Yes, they can, and they're lazy. That's why I'm telling you, TNK. I know they lazy because I told you I ain't even Jamaican, but I had Jamaican friends, and my Jamaican friends wasn't no joke when it came to working. Ain't none of them been lazy. None of them be living like that. None of them going beg, borrow, and ask you. No, they're not doing that. They think it's easy to work and make that money. They laugh at that. They think that's nothing. I just go, my time, okay, let me go do that. Make this money real quick. They're not trying to do that. And this is a grown man. Come on, get out of here with that. Do you use a towel to shower or bathe or just your hands? Okay, where are we at? 1 minute. We on 1 hour and 36 mark. What time is it? Wait a minute. Good Jamaicans are very, yes, I know. TNK, good. Good Jamaican people. Good Jamaicans are very clean people, and they are. Honey, and they are. That's why when I'm watching him, I'm like, oh, he lazy. I'm like, what kind of Jamaican is he? That's why he had to leave Jamaica, because they was all talking trash to him every day about being lazy and dirty. They was talking to you know what they was doing to him every day, because they not taking it. They're not sitting there, you being lazy. You being lazy and dirty, you think they're gonna just sit up there and let you live like that and not say nothing? Nah, if that wasn't going down, that's why I didn't agree with his spirit, because they wasn't giving his relatives, his people there was not giving his soul no rest, because that is not their culture. That is not socially acceptable, and I could tell that from the outside looking in. Because I ain't never seen no Jamaican who didn't have no job. Never. 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 They always had nice stuff, lived in nice houses. Man, bye. Be smart in school. No. The Jamaicans do good. Yeah. See. Team member. Okay, y'all. So we ain't paying attention to him. So that's where we are with AP and Jody. So let me go back and see where we are. So I showed y'all what they did, what they're doing. They started advertising these tiny houses because that was a movement. See with that, and then they even started grifting off of that tiny house movement. They were supposed to start a crowdfunding campaign, but I don't know what happened with that, to help build these tiny homes. All right. But as you see, when it came time for them to build their home, no, they didn't build their home. So they didn't build no tiny house. It seems like they had went through different identity phases in the Gambia. That's what I'm thinking. Different identity phases. Okay. But like she says, whatever's trending, that's the grift. And so it's not really, I'm thinking it's like I did, but it's not. It's not anything they're trying to identify with. It's just they try to make it appear like they're identifying with it, but it is not by identifying. It's about the grift. Whatever the grift is, that's what they do. And if you go through their channel, you can clearly see it. Again, I think they had no real plans on how to make money. Their plan was to live off social media and donations. Maybe there were, I think maybe the donations and the YouTube, well, they weren't getting the YouTube money because Edra said his bank account was frozen, and maybe it was frozen. It's got to be frozen for a reason. Why don't you go back and straighten that out? You see what I'm saying? You can't go back and straighten that out. So they started doing real estate and land sales. So real estate showcasing. Now, you know, when they were doing that, that's when they first arrived, okay? And I told you they were acting like real estate agents, and they were showing houses and everything, and they were collecting a commission on when they were showing the houses, and they're telling you they're getting this commission. But again, there's a problem with that. There's a problem. The problem is they weren't licensed. They were essentially posing as agents without legal authority. And they're still doing it. He's still doing it on his latest video. He's still doing it. And then they escalated everything. All right. They escalated everything. And then they pivoted again to the rentals and the land sales. And that's even bigger trouble. Because in many West African countries, foreigners cannot act as land agents without citizenship and licensing. And how many times have I told y'all that? How many times have I told y'all that? I've watched I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 of their videos today. And in every video, they've asked for money. Everyone. Every single one. And why all this time we've been letting these people pass, I don't know. I don't know. I just know I wasn't interested in them because they were just so broke. And I'm like, how are you even living over here and you're this broke? I just can't watch that because to me, that's embarrassing. You know, because again, Africans, Gambians, they don't have a lot of contact with us. So they'll believe a stereotype. So when you come over there fulfilling a stereotype, that is the worst to me. You know, that is just the worst. And that's why they think now all the Black Americans are broke. Because look who went over there, the broke Black Americans. Yeah, the ones they see were broke. The real Black Americans stayed here. They stayed here and continued to work their jobs. Yeah. Let me take some of y'all comments. Where was I at? So they pivoted. Yes. Yet they were making videos, showing plots of land, presenting themselves as the go-betweens in the real estate transaction. They were also planning for the tiny home project, just like PBTV, like I told you guys about. They were doing crowdfunding to support that project. Now tell me something, y'all. How many of y'all would trust somebody to handle all that, to handle property purchase without a license, to build your house without a license, to basically design your house without a license? It's like risking your whole life savings on that. All of them have done that. All of them. Kendra ran through her life savings like it was water. I never seen nobody get ate up and spit out that fast. Ate up and spit out and sent back here to go work some more, to get some more money, to bring it back so they can chew that up, so they can chop that money too. They chopped her money so fast, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, let me get these comments. And then I think we're going to stop here for tonight. And then next week, we're going to start we're going to talk about this, how they made the big shift into house building. Well, Sammy, UN would have good stories about PBT Gambia. Not off all that the information you gave them. What is the other information? You didn't have no receipts. Well, you didn't send me none. Where's your receipts? We like receipts. So I'm waiting for that. But we done talking about y'all, honey. We done moved on. Tell your wife Kiki done moved on. Tell her she don't reach back. She don't reach back. We done moved on. It was just a story, okay? Don't take it personal. It was an example. They clean their shoes daily. Whites are white and hung a certain way on the line. Beds made first thing. See what I mean? Exactly. No license, Jam Jar says, big problem. Yes, it's it is embarrassing. And they mad because we talking about it because we're embarrassed behind it. Because people think we're all like that. And that's a problem for me because I go to Africa a lot. And that's a big problem for me. I don't want to be stereotyped over some losers, who didn't have nothing in the United States. So they just came to Africa, and then y'all think that we're all like that because some buffoons came over there and showed y'all they buffoonery. I happened to just come across them lately, and I saw enough to know how they're lying. I thought PBT was in the clear. Honey, ain't nobody thinking about that. They're just mad. That dude, Starburst, you know what? I've been meaning to call you. Oh, my God. Yeah, Jody had the baby. I'm so glad you came on here. I'm going to call you tomorrow, okay? I've been so busy, but you know what? You keep coming to my mind, and I've been meaning to call you. Oh, Lord, that's so sad when you be that busy, y'all, that all you can do is think about calling your friends. And that's what I did. I thought about it like a couple times. My mind kept saying, call her. And I was like, call her. I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to call her. And then I would start doing something else. But I'm going to call you tomorrow. I know. It's been a long time. I know. But I'm glad you're on here. Yeah, she had her baby. Oh, she lost several babies? Are you serious? Ooh. That's another sign, y'all. I'm not going to say what that's a sign of, but y'all know, the people who know who was raised the way I was raised, they know what that means. That can mean several things. Wow. Yeah, she had the baby. And he want to move her and the baby into this raggedy house. AP and Jody were ignored because the Americans and the UK people were more glitzy for social media. Blacks at art, bag, and PT and more. The signs were there. They have been there. That's what I'm like. What were we doing? What is wrong with us? How did we give them a pass? This has been going on for years because they, in every video, they solicit funding. And they tell you they're working as land or in-betweens or whatever you call them. They will let you know that they're doing it and they're getting paid a commission. And they don't want to talk to you unless you're serious. This dude is unbelievable. Next week, we're going to hit that. We're going to hit what they're doing now. Well, Sammy, they're in the clear to us until we get some more information. Jam Jar says, Kiki saves us a lot of money from scammers. Yeah, you know what, Jam Jars? People write me about that all the time. You better check, Sammy, you better check with Kiki. I think she said you all can like them now. You silly team member. He said you better check with Kiki because she said y'all can like them now. No, I didn't say. I didn't see no signs. I seen signs of naivety, but I did not see signs of scamming. Okay, naivety. I didn't have anybody to really. I didn't have nothing to go on. Y'all know when we see scamming, we have facts. We hit you with the fact. We have receipts for days. For days. I have nothing but an invoice. And it took me forever to get a dang on invoice. I couldn't get a contract. If you got an invoice, you should have a contract. PBTV said they never signed the contract. That's why they couldn't send me the contract. PBTV sent me a contract. Why couldn't they send me a contract? But then remember the contract they sent me, was it signed? I think it was signed. So the whole situation was just crazy, 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 crazy. I felt like when I got off that show last week, y'all, I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride. I felt like I was just spent around in all kind of circles. After one, okay, good. That's a good time to call. Okay, good. No, tell us what's the signed off. Tell us what is a sign up? What you talking about, team member? They talked about how she couldn't carry them to term. Oh, wow. Did they say why? Ooh. I was wondering why they hadn't had no kids. I get it. Glad I can chat on this video. What you mean? You get it. You glad you could chat on this video. You couldn't chat on other videos. Why couldn't you chat on other videos? All right. So next week, let me look at the script. We are fast forwarding. All right. The big shift. Donations and the house build. That's where we're going to go to next week. All right. The fundraising for their home. We're going to fast forward quickly. Now the big story on their channel. Now they've pivoted again. And the new grift. Because I think this is a grift. I really do. I think this man will allow his wife and that baby to live in one room forever. I do. I really do. I think this is a grift. I think I don't even think they're going to live in the wrong room. I think they're trying to get enough money. I don't think they even had enough money maybe for the rent. All right, let's just put the cards on the table. Like I say, I'm about to put my cards on the table. And this is what my cards say. My cards say they didn't have any money to pay the rent. They needed money to pay the rent. So they had to come up with a grift. All right. The grift that was going on, the grift that was making fast, quick money was this building grift. It's easy content. People watch it. People will come daily to watch the grift, especially if you put it on a time frame. Like who put it on a time frame? PBTV. They did the same thing. PBTV and these people must watch each other's channel because they were doing the same thing. They put their build on a time frame. Remember that when they were building that tiny home, they put it on a time frame. All right. So these people, what's another way we can make some quick money? Pressure the people to give the money. Tell them they only got 30 days and then, it's up. Tell them we don't have any money. Tell them we need this because we don't have anything. Put the pressure on the people. And that's what they did. They're putting the pressure on the people. So I'm listening while I'm watching all this and I'm reading Andrew's messages. I'm like, that's what this is really about. This is a grift. Especially when I saw the no foundation. You can't be serious. Why would you put walls in and you don't have a foundation? How do you put walls in and you don't have a foundation? How do you put a roof on and you don't have a foundation? Because it seems to be the possibility of when you lay that foundation of it shifting those walls could be great. Because the cement is going to go in there and fill up little cracks and it's going to shift it. Because the walls are already settled in one position, but if the walls are slightly crooked or slightly in another direction, and the cement goes in and goes another way, it's going to shift the whole foundation. It's going to shift those walls. So I don't get it. I don't get it. They're claiming they've already raised $9,000 in donation. But guess how much they need? They need $50,000 to complete this house. And the 30 days have already been going on for quite some time now. So I don't even know how long the 30 days has been going on. I think the time is almost up. So where did this Sutton money come from? We know where the Sutton money came from. The Sutton money came from the people. Because as agents, they weren't making much money. We know that. As YouTubers, they weren't YouTube content creators. They weren't making any money because he told us that he wasn't even getting his YouTube checks. He wasn't even getting his YouTube checks because his account was what? Frozen. So where are they getting money from? The donations. The donations are their lifeline. Their Cash App, their whatever, Zelle, Patreon, those are the Cash Apps. So, again, we're going to go through this again next week. I'm going to show you the videos. And these are the things I want you to look for. These were the red flags that I came up with. If you look closely in the bill, like I said, like Edra pointed out, there's no foundations. The walls are going up, yes, but without a foundation. What kind of house is this? This is a recipe for disaster, just like Black Acres house. When their foundation cracked, remember the foundation cracked all the way around. It was cracked. It looked like a spider web. But they built anyway, and then what happened? The ceiling collapsed. The walls cracked, and the ceiling collapsed. You think the walls aren't going to collapse in this house? That's why I don't think this is for real. I think this is a grift. It looks more like a stage set than a genuine building. No lie. Go look. That ain't no real building. That ain't for real. Anybody who's serious about building in another country and building a home, and we've watched them all build, even Kansas Whoville house. Y'all know who the Who's are from Whoville? Y'all know that. Is it Dr. Seuss who wrote the Who's? You know the Who's from with the Grinch who stole Christmas, and the Who's who lived in Whoville and their Who houses. That's what Kenza's house looks like. I forgot who said that, but someone told me that, and I laughed so hard I was crying. They said her house looks like the house. I think it was Wonderful from Whoville, and it does. Even Kenza's Whoville house had a foundation. Even she had a foundation. Uh-oh, y'all know I'm getting sleepy. So, it's just not enough to show progress. It's just not enough. They show just enough to keep the the donations coming. All right. Now, again, let me see what y'all comments got to say. Has anyone out here ever built a house? Now, if you have, tell me, can you lay the foundation after you build the walls? Please tell me what's gonna happen. Would you trust the structure to stand long term after this? So tell me what y'all think, because we're gonna stop right there, and then we're gonna pick up next week. Jam Jar says no. Jam Jar says no and no and no. Team member says you're right. At TNK says, team member, you're not right. Stop it or get lost. Oh, what is he saying, y'all? Chill, Neil. Hey, girl, how you doing? He was really upset on the video that the person accused him of not getting the work done and the money not adding up. Edgar said he wants to build a bigger house. That's why he doesn't care. Oh, he don't care about this one. I prefer, I can't see that, always with respect and as usual, after some time, I'm right. Team member, I can't understand what you said. He plans to live off income from it. Off what? He plans to live off the income from that house with no foundation? He ain't gonna make no income off that house with no foundation. So many have building issues there. Yeah, this house is gonna have a lot of issues. And work not getting done. Of wrongdoing and cost overpricing. Who y'all talking about? Kiki, I watched one of his videos where he was building someone's house for them. He started complaining about it wasn't getting paid for his work, and the client started accusing him. Okay, let me go up here and see. Who are you talking about, Chill Neil? Let me go up here and see who Chill Neil is talking about. Okay, she said they talk. Okay. Sandra says she's good. Thanks, 10K. Who are you talking about, Chill Neil? How is it nonsense? I didn't say, okay. 10K. I mean, Chill Neil, who are you talking about? Who was she talking about, y'all? Been annoying. Okay. Yeah, you making her mad. She might block you. You better stop. Girl, yeah, passive aggressive. We know that. That's what he want to do. But he wants to get us riled up. He think we gonna fall for his nonsense. Ain't nobody got time for him. Yeah, he want to get us riled up. Yeah, thank you. Welcome, Chill Neil. Kiki, he's seeking gullible folks to believe the foundation story. Isn't the foundation story step one? That's what I thought, Susan. I'm confused though. House, and he started complaining. Okay. So you talking about AP. Oh, he can of wrongdoing and cost overpricing. Who you talking about? PBTV or I think I saw that video. You talking about PBTV? I think I saw that one. And work not getting done. Who are you talking about? So many have building issues there. He plans to live. Oh, okay, we looked at that one. Okay. All right, let me go back down here. Then all of a sudden he came out with a video saying that someone stole the timbers of roof and pretended to be upset. Okay, so she talking about AP. Okay. He was really upset on a video that a person accused him of not getting the work done and money not adding up. See, he's not getting the work done. See, that's a game they play. They want you to think and see, this is what I was feeling all day. I was feeling this because I always ask myself, okay, what do you see? Like when I first start, I like, okay, what do I see? What do I feel? Like, what's the feeling? What's the vibe I'm getting? And the vibe I'm getting is just what TNK said. This is just another grift. This ain't for real. Because if this is for real, I'm going to build my house right. I'm not going to play this game. This is games being played. And how he's just walking around there doing nothing and talking to this one dude, but two people shoveling a suck away and but if you got all this money, why are two people just shoveling the suck away? You know who else was pretending to be doing things, but they really weren't? Remember Mark Meets Africa? Remember he did the same exact thing, pretended he was building, pretending he was doing things, and he was not doing those things, and people was giving him money for those things? Remember that community day? And nobody was there. Remember, he wouldn't even go outside. And when he did go outside, oh my God, y'all remember that? Oh, those videos were bad. That was horrible. Because it's not I bet it's not adding up because he's not spending the money where he's supposed to. Then all of a sudden he can't. Oh, okay, we're going to see this is where we're going to next week. This is where we go into the new grift. So we can clearly point out this is a grift. He's keeping the money. He's pocketing this this is my opinion, because I'm only going by, this is my perception of what I see. This is my analysis of his videos of what I see and what he's been doing. And I think this is just another grift. And I think he's been taking whatever, he's not spending all that money on land or whatever he's doing, say he doing. I don't think that, because I don't see $9,000 worth of stuff done. I don't. Then so then the timbers was gone. So the person had to send some more money for the roof, and they did. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Chill Neil. Wow. I guess they're always the victim. Yeah, Edra has been telling me the whole story too. I'm talking about the Smith. Thank you, sweetie. I figured it out. His videos just before he started his house was working for free for another person. Thank you, Edra. Go back, y'all. When you go back tonight to do your research and this all week, so we be ready for Saturday, go back to the video before he started doing this. You don't just start building like this. It's like you just switched. You pivoted. And now I'm doing this. And now I'm standing firmly in this. And I'm advising you how to do this. That's unbelievable. Yeah, that's unbelievable. He kept saying almost done, but he wasn't, but it wasn't his house. AP. Yeah. I'm talking about, okay, I got you, sweetie. Edra, I thought that someone else complained about working for free last week. Sorry for it's okay, Chill Neil. Don't you say anything about Mark. That man's a national treasure. Shut up. Oh God. Oral took Mark's money for street women. Oral was mad at me. I don't care. He thought I was gonna care because he was mad at me. He must, I don't know, he must don't watch the show, honey. I could care less. I'm gonna say your name as many times as I need to get my point across. Yeah, team member, go to bed. We all about to go to bed now. All right. We did it. We did it in 2 hours. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yeah, we did it. We did it. We did it. I told y'all we was going to do this. We was going to do this tonight. So we got this out here. So the stage is set. So y'all go look at this man's channel. Go look at these videos but before you do that, you skim through it, okay? And you see the progression. You see how he switches. He pivots and turns. He pivots and turns. He pivots and turns to wherever the grift is. Whatever's trending, if he thinks he's going to make a grift off of it, he's going to do it. And this house, do I think they're going to finish this house? No. Do I think they're going to move into this house? No. Do I think they're serious about this house? No. I think it's a grift to get money. I think they're going to pay for a little cheap apartment because he doesn't really care where they live. He doesn't. They can live anywhere. He's going to pay for the cheapest apartment he can get. And then they're going to live off the rest until the next grift comes along. And that's what I feel. But that's just my humble opinion. That's just my humble opinion. Yes, I can't understand how they could afford to work for free for so long. So they've been working for so long for free because they live off their donations. Another great, thank you, Jam Jars. Nice to see everyone. Yeah, it really is. And I had to get on here and spend some time with my friends. I had to spend some time with my friends and my loved ones. So I had to make sure. I'm like, oh no, this is our Saturday night. Ain't no devils gonna stop us. They was trying though, wasn't they? They was trying hard tonight, but I'm like, no, we gonna get on here. And we got on here and we had a nice, good show. We did it for 2 hours. See how the internet is working just fine. See that? That's what I'm telling you. Then when I have information that I don't realize how important it is, this will happen, because it's like Satan don't want you to reveal his motives and his people. These people are nothing but just users, and bums, like I told you. But I didn't realize how bad it was until I started doing research on them. So we're going to finish this next week. Yeah, and the internet will be working fine because it'll start with just one like this. And then, it'll be fine. We got it out here, and that's what we needed to do. All right, I will see y'all next week. And go watch this marathon. Yeah. And see what y'all see. And email me and let me know. Because we're getting ready to put the finishing touch on next week. All right, and please stop giving these people money. Please stop giving these people money. What you need to do is report these people for suspected fraud. And we know it's not suspected. We know they're operating like agents, impersonating real estate agents, and they're not. They don't, and investment brokers, and they're not. All right. Susan says, I second that, London lady. All right. All right. Y'all have a good one. We'll be back on here next week. See y'all later.